Listen, let's move on because we still got a lot to talk about. We're at 45 minutes, and we got Darren Staley, a super chat. I see you here, Darren. We're going to get to your question. The Giant squashes Loch Ness. All right, so he gives him the big boot, a big leg, 2.5 minutes, pins Loch Ness. Now, because he wins that, he also wins a title shot against Ric Flair the next night on Nitro. And then you have Sting and Booker T. They took on the Road Warriors in a Chicago street fight, Arn. That went nearly 30 minutes. They brawled all over the building. And after that match came one of your career highlights. Guys have been waiting to put it up on the screen. It's the infamous Doomsday cage match with our man in the black sweatpants and sweatshirt, hands taped, eye to eye again with Hogan, which, my goodness, you wrestled him a lot in this couple months that we've done this show together, as far as February and now March. Arn, talk about it. You're on the third tier of the Doomsday cage. How confident were you, my first thought, that this thing would actually hold you guys?
It was a thought. And let me tell you that the reason I had on all the clothes was that particular wire that they got had a lot of rough edges. And as you can see, the way it was constructed, there was a lot of screws and stuff sticking out. I knew my body was going to get caught up and abused. I just was trying to put a little bit of padding on to keep from scraping myself up. If you look at behind me, it was just a weird construction. There was a lot of rough edges, a lot of planks that weren't even. It was dangerous. I mean, that part of it was legitimate. It was very dangerous.
Buddy, and people in the chat are saying it too. There's no way you could pay me enough to wrestle around up there that high, just knowing that all that's holding you up is that chain link fencing.
Well, go back to the Undertaker and Foley. You saw what happened when he took a choke slam on top of the cage. He went all the way through to the floor. You know, that kind of stuff happens. You can't prepare for it. It was what it was. It was a dangerous night, and we were all, or at least the guys I talked to, were aware of the potential danger.
Now, here's my question for you, because nowadays a lot of that, before belt, they get out to where the arena that they're going to wrestle at. They do a walkthrough. Do you remember anything on that day? If there was any kind of walkthrough in the cage, all of you up there, anything like that?
Not that involved me. I don't like heights. I wasn't going to go out there, but it's the one time I had to.
So your first time up to the top of that cage was the night of that event when they called your name, and you and Rick and Woman and Elizabeth, they went up as well, but there was scaffolding where they could get down because there were cameramen up on the scaffolding to record. But man, you never went up there.
No, I'm serious. I have a phobia about heights. I could never get up on the roof of my house to do nothing, because once you get up there, man, it kicks in on me. Trying to back down a ladder off of a big house, it's no fun. It's not for me anyway.
You have Hogan and Savage. That's it. Just the two of them. You all have watched it. I'm watching you talk about it here in the chat. Against 8 heels. Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ming, the Barbarian, Lex Luger, rest in peace, Kevin Sullivan. I love you. Z Gangsta. And the Ultimate Solution. Do you remember who Z Gangsta was?
Was that Zeus?
It was Zeus. You win, yes. From the movie No Holds Barred. Z Gangsta was Zeus.
Tiny Lister, I believe, was his
Yes, that's it.
name. Yeah, he didn't bring much to the table for what we did.
He always had the big, across the eyes, and then the shots down to the traps in the back. That was his gimmick.
And it went downhill from there.
And then it was done. And then it was over. Oh, man. So listen, only in WCW could you take 8 guys, put them in 3 cages, stack them on top of each other, and still have the rules make less sense than a Booty Man storyline. It was just bad. And for those keeping record, as we said, Z Gangster was Zeus. And if you're wondering whether WCW could out-cartoon itself, well, the answer is yes. The Ultimate Solution had just been renamed from the Final Solution, by the way, and thankfully someone realized that was a terrible name to put on a pay-per-view poster. So now you have the Ultimate Solution. Hogan and Savage basically sold for the two actors, but they weren't selling for Ric Flair or you, Arn Anderson. Somewhere Vader was watching thinking, oh, so it wasn't just me. But the match was billed as 2-on-8, but it felt more like, you know, I don't know. It was terrible. It was, we had powder, we had a loaded glove, we had frying pans, and this wasn't the cooking show, guys. This is a wrestling match. But it went from uncensored to unhinged when the Booty Man showed up with frying pans, and these weren't cast iron skillets. They were aluminum frying pans. The commentary, they were all in on the hype. Heenan said, "This surpasses the Super Bowl, the World Series." I mean, I thought somewhere Vince Lombardi just spit his drink out. I mean, what are we doing? Shivani's like, this is why we're the number one in pay-per-view all around the world. I'm thinking number one in making people call their cable company for refunds. Like, what are we doing here? It was just bad.
The shit just got deeper and deeper and deeper as it went. Further it went. I mean, come on. What is it? You know, you hit somebody with a cast iron skillet, okay, you're going to hurt them, but where does that fit in a wrestling match? It immediately turns it into ha-ha. Any seriousness or the, you know, forgetting about the real fact that somebody, you know, if they fall wrong on this and it busts loose and you go through to the floor or whatever the real risks were, it just stunk.
Listen, and at the end of it, it was really a weird, like Hogan almost, so Savage remembered, oh, after Luger hits, I think he hits Flair with the loaded glove. He was supposed to act like he was hitting Savage. Savage ducks, he recocks his arm and then nails Flair, knocks Flair down. Savage goes around, they knock everybody else out. Hogan's like, come on, Randy, let's exit the ring. Randy's like, oh no, wait, someone like remind him, I need to go pin Flair. The whole thing was delayed. He goes back in, pins him, and then they walk out and win. And it was like, oh my God, that was like the ugliest thing I've just seen. And if anyone asks why the triple decker cage never came back, guys, this is exhibit A through Z. It just didn't work.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say. It's just,
it's done. Hey, thank God. All I got to say is thank God that not too far in the distant future, a little thing called the NWO would be on its way.
Yeah, I mean, you kick dirt over the company on that night. Thank God that fans don't want it dead, or it would have been dead after that.
Well, Arn, it was funny because when we both logged on tonight and I said we were going to cover this event, you knew exactly what I was, the Doomsday. Like sometimes I'll be like, hey, do you remember this or that? And you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's starting to come. This match, you were like, this was the drizzling shits. You remembered it like that.
There's no way to sugarcoat it, and I wouldn't put our audience through that. It just was not mapped out. It should have never happened. The end game, if you looked at what was going to happen, 2 guys beating 8 guys. And there were some heavy hitters in that 8 guys, you know.
Yeah.
Barbarian, you know, come on.
And listen, as you watch this, guys and gals, and watch this back, or if you're watching it live with us, we know we're on a journey, right, through Arn's career. And there's going to be the fun stories and classic and great, but we're also going to hit moments like these, and we're going to cover them all. And this just happens to be one of the ones that we're not going to pull up on a Saturday night unless we have to, and pull the family in and say, let's rewatch the Doomsday match.
We won't watch that again. And Elegante will not be on the menu.
Unless it was like for someone that wanted to have excessive amounts and they figured out a party, like take a shot every time this happens, or, you know, unless you want to do it for that reason, I can't see any other reason to pull this up. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah.